Hey guys, so today's Sunday, May 25th, and each day I'm feeling a little bit better. So I did a video yesterday and my throat was still pretty sore. It's not as sore now. I think my vocal cords are still a little bit raspy, but if you didn't know I had strep throat this week, then I don't think you would know it by hearing me now. So that being said, I am going to go to my morning OA meeting, and then I think I'm going to go to the bookstore for a while and hang out, just kind of relax. I did go yesterday, I mentioned, excuse me, to go see the new X-Men movie, X-Men Days of Future Past, and I loved it. Oh man, I'm such an X-Men fan. I'm not normally like into sci-fi movies, but you give me an X-Men movie and I turn into a total fangirl. So my favorite out of the X-Men movies being the second one, which came out years ago. I don't know, I should look that up and see what year it actually came out, but I saw that in the theater by myself. I want to say 2 or 3 times because I loved it that much. Excuse me. So I went yesterday, and I kind of mentioned in my video yesterday that I don't really have any friends or family that are into X-Men, so I didn't want to waste time trying to like get someone to come with me or drag my mom to come with me because I just knew nobody else would enjoy it. So I took myself, and that was kind of a humbling experience. I haven't seen a movie alone in a long time, but so as far as the movie goes, if you have not seen it, I am going to do some spoilers here, so you might want to save this video for later. So there's a character called Quicksilver, which is like, I don't know officially what his power is called, but he goes back and forth, and I think I read he moves at 150 times our normal movement. So there was a great scene, and honestly, like the minute the scene happened, I wanted to rewind and watch it again because it was so good. And so he's zooming around, like helping everybody because the X-Men are about to get shot at, and they aren't metal bullets, so Magneto isn't able to move them like normal. So Quicksilver kind of gets into action, and the way the scene was shot, the music, he was silly, it was awesome. And I honestly think like he was my favorite character out of the whole movie. And in watching reviews, I'm not the only one that feels that way. He just stole the show. It had Wolverine in it, of course, which he is getting older, but he still looks great. In the end, again, this is spoiler, but everybody that's died in the past few movies, because they went back in time and changed the future, you'll see them in the end not dead, they're alive. And I did feel it was a little bit maybe self-indulgent to, you know, be able to bring back all of the characters you killed off in you know, one movie. Just, oh look, they're here again. But I also understand, because we love our characters, so we don't want them to be dead. But, you know, it's like I mourned that character 2 movies ago, and now here they are. But, yeah, really great movie. You know, one of the X-Men movies that I really did not get into was the one right before this, and it was the X-Men First Class. I saw it once, and I don't know if it was probably where I was at in my life, because I think it came out in 2011 or 2012, which you guys know a lot was going on then. So yeah, I only saw it once, and I don't remember really getting into it that much. So I went out and bought it yesterday. This is actually the 4-pack. So it's got X-Men First Class, the original X-Men, X-Men 2, and then X-Men The Last Stand, which was number 3. So I already have the other 3, but it was only $12 for the 4-pack, and they didn't sell the First Class one by itself. So my hope is that maybe it will have, I always like the behind the scenes stuff, the not spoilers, but the bloopers, and So maybe it'll have some of those. But this is the first time, I haven't bought DVDs in a while, that it's got, I don't know, the packaging is pretty cool. So anyway, 4 movies for 12 bucks. You can't really beat that. And what else? Yeah, the guy that plays the young Magneto, Michael Fassbender, I believe. He's kind of hot. I kind of have a crush. Although James McAvoy did an awesome job. There is a scene where telepathically he's conversing with his older self, and that was probably my second favorite scene. I got a lot out of this movie as far as kind of life lessons, as corny as that sounds. But I don't know, there is something about this series, there's something about, and I think it goes back to the original story, not even these movies, but the original comic books. And you know, these people have powers, and there's war, and they're treated differently. And I always wished I had a secret power. I'm sure a lot of you guys have felt that way, but you know, as far as what the power, I go back and forth. I mean, I've always wanted the power of like the mind. So Jean Grey can move things with her mind. She can predict the future. She can hear people's thoughts. So that is like probably my number one. But there's so many that I'm like, oh, that'd be cool to have. That'd be cool to have. But then of course there's also the bad with the good. And you know, it'd probably be really hard for Jean Grey to turn it off sometimes. And it can be overwhelming. And in fact, in this movie, you see Charles Xavier younger, and he, you know, he's tormented by hearing, because he can hear people's thoughts and read people's minds, and amongst other things, but the torment of hearing people's pain all the time and not being able to do anything about it. And that was kind of the conversation between his older self and his younger self, was that you will take on these people's pains and you won't break. And that's where your strength is you can take that on and be better for it and be stronger for it. And I totally relate to that. I just feel like that was a beautiful moment. Trying to think what else. It's the way it was shot. It was so great. I mean, not to keep using great, but it was a really good movie. If you guys aren't into X-Men, I think you would still probably enjoy this movie. It wasn't overly violent. Sometimes movies about war and violence kind of, you know, I just don't really love that stuff. I don't like seeing people get killed. And, you know, I don't think a whole lot of people got killed in this one, actually, because the younger Charles Xavier, well, actually as a whole, he doesn't like people being killed. So a lot of times people are just kind of knocked out. Magneto is not afraid to kill people. Mystique, especially later on, is not afraid to kill people. But this is Mystique younger. So now that I'm saying this, I really don't think a whole lot of people got killed by mutants. So that's great, actually. Anyway, so I'm rambling a little bit, but yeah, really excited about this. When I ordered a few books off of Amazon for my Kindle about X-Men, because again, I'm kind of a dork and a fangirl, and I like to find out the behind the scenes stuff. I've been watching some reviews. There are all these little quirks, because they're all interwebbed and tangled, and there's stuff in the comics that don't necessarily make it in the movies, or like you get a little glimpse of them in the movies. So for instance, Quicksilver, when he meets Magneto, Magneto can move metal, and so he says, my mom knew a guy that could do that. Well, in the comics, Magneto is Quicksilver's dad. I don't think an active dad. I think it's, you know, kind of a biological father type thing. But so even though they don't outright say it in the movie, we all kind of know what that means. And then there's just like all sorts of little stuff. Also, in the comics, there's a character, I think, called the Scarlet Witch, that is Quicksilver's sister. And then in one of the end scenes, his little sister, who's probably 3 or 4, is sitting on his lap in a little princess dress and has red hair. And so that was kind of a little hint that, you know, she's a future character possibly as well. Trying to think of what else. I did not stay. So X-Men movies, after the credits, they usually show like a little snippet of what's to come. I didn't stay for that. I was like, well, you know, I don't know. So the people that did stay are like freaked out about it because there's this big character, and I don't know so much about that character. So I'm going to try to watch it on YouTube, or see if I can find it on YouTube of what the actual scene was, because I've heard a lot about it. I just haven't seen it. So I'm trying to think of what else. Yeah, I don't know. So sorry to keep going on and on. I just want to talk about it, and I don't really have anybody in real life that is interested in it that I know of that would want to talk to me about it. So I'm going to talk to you guys about it. But yeah, so I'm going to go now, and I did end up going grocery shopping last night, and challenged myself to go with no makeup, which ended up being fine. People were looking at me, and I'm like, oh, they're looking at my skin or whatever, but, excuse me, I'm getting hiccups. I still think they just were looking. I don't, you know, whatever. Leah asked me if I was going to do grocery haul. I was exhausted last night, so I knew I wouldn't do one last night, but I'll look at this stuff. I get so much of the same stuff. I don't know if you guys really want to see that, but also I posted a picture on Facebook last week of my fridge all organized, and some people said that seemed like a lot of food. I didn't eat all that food in 1 week, so I kind of thought about taking a picture of like what was left. But I also had strep throat this week, so I ate less than normal because I didn't have much of an appetite. So I don't know. That might be something, you know, in the next couple weeks that I'll do too, is show you my prep, what it looks like prepped, and then by the end of the week what it looks like. I don't know. Just throwing ideas out here. So I'm going to stop rambling now and head out for the day. So I will talk to you guys soon.